Hello comic fans, here's Earl Grey. Today I want to talk about Ryan Heshka, the wonderful art of Ryan Heshka, this great tome over there. A bit about his comics in the end of my video, about a German painter named Rauch, and about some movie posters from the 50s, or reproductions of them. In case you have wondered what it is with this worn-out carpet in the background of some of my videos, well, that one was inherited by my father-in-law, who was a great guy and a teacher. And I always think of this carpet as some kind of evidence how he prepared his lessons while walking in circles, thinking heavily about stuff, almost like Uncle Scrooge does when he thinks holes into the ground. And it shows a bit how I think about old things in general that are a bit more worthy to me when they show their history with their creases and folds and all these seemingly flaws. I don't speak about stupid mistakes from Amazon or stuff like that, you know. Yeah. And somehow this connects a bit to today's topic here, Ryan Heshka, who has his very own way to old art. Maybe you will separate pulp art from the real fine art. This is some kind of goofy, Sigmund Freudish, phallic building over there. But in case you want to look for stuff like that, you will find a lot in these paintings here. And for those of you who know a bit about German painters, you will think this painting here in particular looks absolutely like Neo Rauch, and this here almost as well. But more about that in half a minute. Yeah, I would have liked to prepare this video a bit and put some markers into this book here and there. But actually, it's regardless which page you open of this beautiful tome, published by cernunnos. And you will always get fantastic art. Look at this one here. And even though Ryan Heshka does very particular art, who would not have made it onto the covers way back then, or the posters, because they are some kind, in a weird sense, goofy, more goofier than it maybe would have been allowed. But this painting here, just for an example, reminded me a bit of an old movie poster like this one here, which I love a lot. Okay, it's just loosely connected, but to give you this pulpy feel of way back then. And somehow it's really different than Ryan Heshka's art. When I look at Ryan Heshka's art, I think, okay, this looks so old school, 50s, 40s, whatever to me. But when I look at reproductions from the days back then, I see, oh, these are different, you know. Though there was one painting, one poster, here, that one, the War of the Worlds, with these pinkish, sweet coloring and all that. This could have been done by Ryan Heshka. Or by Neo Rauch, for instance. So I talked so much about Neo Rauch. Maybe we do some interlude and come back to the big tome, because maybe you haven't heard of that guy here. He's really big for a painter, and There are some guys, German painters like Georg Baselitz or Gerhard Richter, who are did the most expensive paintings in the last decades. Rauch is right behind them. I would not judge painters by the prices of their paintings. So this is really silly, and how the art market works is pretty silly as well. So it spoils the fun to see good artists don't have success, and some goofy guys with the bigger elbows just have the big success. And the art market is not a real fun topic in my book. But Rauch, East German guy from Leipzig, he must be 60 or so right now. I always liked his comics because we have both the same interests, I think, which clearly are these pulp covers from way back then, and comics, and he does these surreal paintings that make you guess what is going on. And you have to think of all these paintings as really huge paintings. I mean, this is 2 meters high and 4 meters wide. So this is really something when you are in a museum. This is not artist edition size. This is really bigger than life size. And for you comic fans, I don't have to point out where his some of his influences lie. Of course, he has some surrealist influences and so on, and especially in combination with his titles. But he has some speech bubbles in some of his paintings. And they're good paintings, no way around it. And he has to get props to enter the fine art business market, so to speak, with this kind of stuff here. But it really surprises me how little all the art theorists delve into this background of his paintings, this comic and pulp background. They mention it here and there, but then it's all about surrealism and high fine art stuff. Which is good and fair there, but... So, this is Rauch, one of the art catalogs, one of his exhibitions, which I had seen actually. And here's some floppy, der Zeitraum, the time space, the space of time. See, there's a bit of pretentiousness going on here, and more power to him. This is a small painting, and I do like his small paintings and sketches. He's some kind of master just in terms of crafts, of craftsmanship, if this is a word. And he shares with Ryan Heshka a bit this love for strange colors as well, especially on the pinkish and violet side. It seems to be a trope in my last videos, a couple of videos, to the use of the color pink, maybe. And here's a little book with works on paper, you would say, sketchbook material. With a long foreword, and it's strikingly, I flipped through this, at least the first foreword doesn't have mention pulp or comics ever in it. And it's one of these pretentious stuff where you have just one page just to mention that when it's done, how it's done, and the format. And instead of depicting his art on every page here. And I think if some of you aren't too allergic to this fine art, pretentious kind of stuff, and like good comic art, maybe you want to check this out. I mean, regardless if it's in English as well, and it's German too. And yeah. I would think you get some kicks out of that here, because it's really inspiring stuff, you know. So, but the main focus, I wanted to lay this on Ryan Heshka, actually, and of course. So, back to his wonderful paintings here, and see if I can come up with some more or less intelligent remark to the stuff here, even though this art here really speaks for itself. And what's different in comparison to Neo Rauch is, of course, how Ryan Heshka is much more up on the nose with his about the stuff that inspired him. Well, yeah, maybe with Neo Rauch being an East German guy, it's more indirect. He maybe this kind of art was in his childhood some remembrance of Western culture, who was locked behind the wall, behind the frontier to West Germany, and so on. And so I get it. It's not so obvious to deal with this stuff here. And Ryan Heshka being an American, I guess, it's obviously, yeah, more familiar stuff he deals with, and so he shows it. But if you give a picture like this one here, maybe to some art buff, he would say, okay, this is a painting of Neo Rauch. Maybe this is not so much Neo Rauch, because Ryan Heshka, yeah, he doesn't shy away from being totally goofy and weird. And this is, of course, a take on this painter whose name escapes me right now, El Greco. No. Francisco Goya, of course. Saturn devouring his children. Yeah, with some bad wings in this version here. And we have spiders again and again, and huge insects, and criminals, and nude ladies, and weird tech, and Frankenstein guy, huge apes. All the good ingredients for good pulpy art. Neo-pulp, so to speak. And yeah, of course, when I see Neo, I again think of Neo Rauch, which is, I think, totally not deliberately done by Ryan Heshka. I wonder if he even knows Neo Rauch. But yeah, this is a bit fun, and this painting here, yeah. Totally Neo Rauchi, or from now on I will think of Ryan Heshka-y as well. So, of course, he knows about his comics. He even did some short film about the mean girls. And I'm really curious about this movie. Maybe it's on YouTube. I will look for it after this video here. This leads me to the Mean Girls Club comics published by Nobrow Press, which I have shown you before. This floppy thing here in their series 17, Square 23, the series is established for publishing stuff from more new talent, unknown talent. I don't know if this really can be applied to Ryan Heshka, since he has become a bit famous in our little weird comic lover niche. And maybe this is the most recommended stuff to get from Ryan Heshka, because it is comics and it is affordable and really goofy, even though it's a bit short. And for those of you who want to have a bigger injection of Mean Girls Club, then you have to go for the hardcover trade, and the storyline here is not included in that, so you get a totally 100% new comic out of that. But of course, with your same gang of characters here, these ladies who are real mean. No kidding. And as I said before, it's more of the same stretched out to graphic novel size. But when you like stuff like that, like I do, you won't be bothered having this bigger tome, not a real big tome, but bigger book from Ryan Heshka. So, yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground today, from comics to pulp to German painting and back again to comics. So what else can I do than to thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.